You have ventured into some strange territory because this is kind of creepy. I'm Jason Emmett.
I'm Casey Masterpiece.
And I'm Twisted Kid Matt.
All right. So we're going to do what we always do. We got our clips. We got a really cool story to tell this week. Now, this story that we're going to tell this week for scary spooky time or spooky scary time or whatever. I can never remember what we call it.
Spooky scary time.
Spooky scary time. The one we're going to do this week is actually a really famous story. But as we found out, KC doesn't know the story, so that got us wondering if other people do. So we decided we're going to share it with everybody. So you will. Now,
I'm excited.
There may be some argument as to how paranormal it is or not, but it's friggin' weird regardless. And I don't know if it's no one really knows. That's the thing. Were there paranormal things taking place? I think yay because of the setting, but we'll get to all that.
Yeah,
because we're going to start with our clips, and we're going to start with my clip. And this week, I brought a cryptid clip. Well, I kind of brought two, which we'll explain why, because they kind of go hand in hand. And watching one, I was kind of like, is this real? But the problem is when you connect it to the other one, you start getting a little legitimacy about this whole thing. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Like I said, I brought a Sasquatch clip this week. December 2nd, 2012. I know you guys love dates and locations. This is in Provo, Utah. So this is a hiker out, and he captures this walking down the hill, right? First, it tries to squat down, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then you can hear the guy's breath. He's getting, and then boom, it fucking stands up and chucks a rock at him, right?
Oh,
this one happens a month later in Provo, Utah, really close to where that first one happened. This is a couple of people out for a hike. And as you can see, it's a little grainy, but it's not, the actual footage isn't that grainy, of course. It's right there. Now, at first they actually thought this was a bear that they were capturing.
Does he think it's a bear?
But then it does something that, well, bears can do, but not quite like this. So they actually thought they were filming a bear. They're like, hey, check it out. There's a bear right there up in the trees.
Yeah, probably should be too close to it, huh? Oh, cool. Though.
And until the bear's there.
Hey.
And look, instantly they get freaked out. Like, whoa.
Yeah, like,
Run. They run.
Not quite a bear.
So, a couple things I want to say. I'd actually seen the second one first, and I was like, it could be fake, could be real, whatever. But the other one came along with the throwing the rock. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that when it comes down the hill and it notices somebody, the first thing it does is crouch down. And Matt and I have talked about this. Very common to see in Bigfoot videos. We put up a short on our channel, the one in Colorado, the people on the train. And the first thing the Bigfoot does is duck down. And it actually, in the environment it's in, almost vanishes when it does. It's still right there. It's clearly in front of you. Yeah. There's no trees or anything in front of it. But
just camouflages.
Yes. So I think this is a natural thing they do, but when this one realizes it's not working, it does something else that is very common in Bigfoot encounters. It throws a rock. I have an opinion, or I theorize that Bigfoot, for the most part, are probably pretty benign and not aggressive overall. We've heard stories, but I think anything that's non-aggressive can occasionally you'll run into an aggressive one
when it's cornered.
Yeah,
or sometimes you just get a bad turn to certain people or animals or whatever. So I think you hear the stories about them kind of trying to hide, to duck. You'll see them walk away really fast, and then they'll throw branches or rocks, which I think are more of to scare people off or scare things away than to actually harm.
Yeah, it's like a leave me alone kind of behavior.
Right.
It's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, we welcome everybody's opinion. What made this so interesting to me is these both took place in Provo, Utah, about a month apart. You can tell the settings are very similar looking, not far away from one another. And both of the clips, this is what, 2012, I think it was from.
I think is what I said, yeah.
So that's what these people were kind of like, 2012.
2012.
So it's kind of gets to that point. It's like, well, two different groups of people, a month apart, similar location. So what I'm saying is, I don't think the people filming it are faking it. Maybe there's some weirdo running around out in the woods. I don't know. But
I mean, I don't think there's a ton to do out in Provo.
Yeah.
However, Bigfoot hunting is apparently a good thing to do in this area if that's what they think it is. And
It's a nice first date. Yeah.
yeah,
Come on, babe. Watch
like,
this.
hey, babe, let's go squatching. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw a rock at him now. If anybody's out in the Provo area, let us know if this is like real common stuff. Because we are apparently none of us are from Utah. I don't even know if I've ever been. I might have been through Utah. I don't know if I've ever been there. So let us know if this is a real common occurrence. If Bigfoot sightings are really common there, and if anybody's had any experiences, please let us know.
There's something I wanted to point out with this one, by the way, is when this one stands up in the second video. I'll see if I can go back just a little bit. You see its arm come out.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah.
And when the arm comes out, it's I think that's when they go, oh, not a bear.
Yeah,
okay.
They literally thought, like right here, I agree with him. It could be a bear, like what, and that.
Oh,
It kind of does this like
Because the Henry Cavill, like cocking of the arm, and they run because they know what's coming next.
Mission Impossible.
They know what happens.
They're like, oh no, we're about to die. And when something's bigger than you, it's probably best to do the flight portion.
I'm not that tall, so you get used to it. But when I'm eye to nipple with most guys, no, I'm not that short.
It's like, listen here, bud.
All right, let's play Casey's clip. Casey, what do you got for us this week?
All right, I got a streamer, just like us, who was doing his game stream in his let's see, I think a friend's like Airbnb or something like that. But all of a sudden, things start acting a little weird behind him, and the folks watching this the stream, I actually pointed out.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, full disclosure, when I was loading this one in, I've seen this clip, and I'm so glad you brought this one because this was going to be one of mine in the future.
I think I know the clip, and it's always fun when people are telling you there's scary shit going on behind you.
Yeah.
Doors open.
I love his reaction. That's how you react, right?
Right.
What was that?
I love how he's just like,
let me grab the cat. It's like, I'm not going alone. I'm taking the cat. The cat's just chilling though.
yeah. Meanwhile, like his chat is going the entire time,
Right.
and they're just like, hey, lights on again. It's like, hey, the door shut. The door opened up or whatever. Like they're telling him the whole time what's going on, and you saw he just went back there.
I think he's hearing sounds too because stuff like he's reacting to her. Oh man,
Doors opening.
look at him. His reactions are so genuine. Like this can't be really going on, right? I like the kid.
Yeah, he's like, you guys see this, right?
I mean, this is for real, right?
And again, the benefit of this, like what would he stand to gain from this other than people watching this clip millions of times?
I mean,
But-
views, but
if he's a regular Twitch or streamer too, and this is not what typically happens, then
Like I'm watching
It's not
this,
like we needed, guys. It's not like we needed
Yep.
any sleep or anything.
and you can hear people, you can hear this people on his stream talking.
Did you guys see that? I like how we're back to playing Skyrim. Like, alright.
I'm not gonna fucking.
Yeah, I'm ignoring it. Everything that's happening, just
So what are
ignoring.
you gonna do, right?
Do you feel
All my
cold? I'm
viewers-
shivering a lot. Does that count for anything?
Fucking. I think we're all shivering a little bit.
We kind of are, yeah.
He's just accepted it.
yeah.
Done. I don't
Just like,
care.
I just did it again.
Oh,
like,
Elvis money.
you don't say.
Are you fucking?
Like he's going through all 12 stages of grief in this one,
right.
just like
He's young, like he's.
accepting it.
That's where I might be like,
Yeah.
all
Open
right.
the door.
I've seen this, and I do want to point out that at the end of this, I'm pretty sure he finally does say, "Screw this noise."
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think
Yeah.
towards the tail end.
Leave.
And so I was just gonna chill here over the night. He was cool with it. He set me up for the Wi-Fi thing. And then the ghost is like, knock, knock, motherfucker, we're still here.
knock, knock, motherfucker. Yeah, he is at somebody's place. Said they set him up with the Wi-Fi and everything. His face. You're like, oh my god.
Like I said, I don't think you should go fucking
Oh god.
Oh, people in the chat just reacting to it, just like, oh no.
Box, guys.
So the box that already fell is
there
moving
was.
again.
Did you see it?
Oh,
Don't
Oh,
worry.
yeah, watch this. See that, Matt?
oh yeah.
Goes up and goes down.
One last final look at
Could be the cat. Where's the cat at that point, though? We don't really know.
I think, is he holding the cat?
No, he wasn't holding it. It could have still been next to it. I don't know how it would have gotten up that high, but I don't know if there's a table. I'm just theorizing. Obviously, the rest of this stuff is, and that's Reese.
Yeah,
He's like, yep, that chair just moved away from me.
Done.
Nope.
I love that video so much just because I feel like his frustration and aggravation is so genuine. It's
Yeah, you
like,
can see it just building throughout the video.
again, maybe it's fake, but he ain't faking it. And he's like, I don't know what's going on, but I've had enough.
right.
It's so good. I think my favorites are when we get reactions that are just so genuine. Like, that's not acting. So, you know, it's really good acting.
That's a guy trying to hold it together the entire time. Just like,
Yeah.
okay, I panicked a little bit. It's on camera. My friends that are watching are going to be making fun of me for it. All right, just maintain,
man.
maintain everything. And
I shat my pants a little
oh
bit.
god, everything just went to
great
hell.
friends. They were supportive as hell.
That's
Like,
true. Yeah.
they're like,
Get
"Hey,
out
like,
now.
we're all scared
go."
for you, man. What the hell's going on?
I think we're all shivering a little bit right now.
Luke, get out, Luke. I don't know his name. As my son being young, probably about this kid's age, and a gamer, I could see him being like I hear the noise, but I really don't want to stop.
Yeah. And I love the fact, like, well, we're back to playing Skyrim, I guess.
Yeah, it's just feel like nothing ever happened. But what are you going to do? Especially, we've all been in experiences where we've had one little thing happen and we think it's creepy and weird. But what do? You're like, okay, well, I got to kind of move on here.
Yeah.
It's when you get all of those. I think the box would have been the first thing that was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
When the door starts slamming, we're done. This can't be a breeze.
Like, we're going to go. Yeah.
Like, the cat clearly didn't knock that. Like, there's a lot of it could be explained, but then, like, in his head, like, it maybe a breeze closed the door, maybe the cat knocked the box off when I wasn't looking, but that I can't explain that. So that's where we're done.
Yeah.
It was a great clip. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, we got Matt's.
All right.
No idea what we got coming up here.
Yeah.
So Matt,
Let's see what you got.
Yeah. So my clip, it's a couple of guys. They were up to no good. Started making trouble in the neighborhood.
Trouble in the neighborhood.
But yeah, they this is from like a CCTV camera angle, like above an area where people would be coming in and out for like smoke breaks, and just something happens in it.
Would you say it's one little fright and they both got scared?
Yeah, I definitely would say that. So I'll just let you guys watch it and tell me what you think is going on in this video.
All right.
So timestamp the Monday, November or September 14th, 2015.
I needed someone to walk out so I could get a bearing. I'm like, I don't know.
So he's standing in a puddle, which is an odd choice, to be fair.
He's talking on the phone, so he probably not paying any damn attention.
Another guy comes out drinking his coffee and just kind of watch the ground around him.
Oh,
that
shit.
water he's standing in is reacting. Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. He gets dragged off by something, and
there's no way
it keeps going.
Real. There's no way that could be
if
real.
This is real, holy crap. If it's fake, holy crap.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah. So
what in the shit bat weasels just happened there? That was as crazy as the orb. What?
Yep.
That cannot be.
You're referencing a video that may or may not ever
I've
come out.
made it up, but we'll play it again if not.
Yeah, we'll have to put that in a future episode.
That was insanity. There's no way that can be real. If it looks like it can't be real, but it doesn't matter. It's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
I hate coffee drinker. Because that dude just ran inside. It's like, Ted got pulled off, run.
Yeah.
He just gives up trying to help
you guys, I have my cup of Joe, and that's all I need in the world.
You watch, he just gives up trying to help him at one point. He's like, forget it. We lost him. We lost him to the sea. Arg. Or a puddle. That's the other thing I'm curious is, so we see like water in a puddle. I can't see off this. Is it like more water? Like, is that like going into like a dock or something? Or is it just really just a puddle? What the F is happening there? Because there you don't even can't even tell it's a puddle until he steps.
Right.
Which, go back a little.
Yeah. Just seems
I
like
want to watch this. Do the ripples start before he steps in it? Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that is a little odd.
Also, why are those? I don't.
And the ripples are still.
Why are those ripples moving so much?
Yeah.
When he's not moving, I'm starting to have my suspicions here. It doesn't. I mean, it's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
But it almost looks like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
See, watch. He's like, and run inside.
Yeah.
His buddy's still there too. He wasn't gone yet. He just didn't care. On a personal level, I don't know if I buy it, but it is as creepy as hell and fun.
Is it ice? Were they standing on ice? And it broke, and there's like a triangle.
Plus, that dude would be dead.
No kidding, right?
He just got thrown back like a rag doll.
Yeah.
I've never
Slides
seen
across
that clip ever.
Yeah.
That it is.
Yeah, I came across that one this morning and was like, all right, I'm kind of curious.
That's clearly claymation. No,
that's an inside reference there.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, if I'm to give my personal, I don't buy that it's real, but it's fun as hell to watch, and especially the first time you watch it, it's like, oh my god, what just happened there?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I don't have a ton of backstory on it other than just a couple guys on a smoke break, on a CCTV camera. It's about all I know. So
that was cool. I enjoyed the hell out of that clip, actually. Like if that wasn't a movie, I want to see. If that was part of a movie, I want to see the movie. Could you guys let me know? Because that looks interesting as hell, regardless of anything else. But all right, so this week we have a spooky, scary time that is, like I said, extremely famous. The story is famous, but apparently Casey hadn't heard it, and that gets me thinking, like, how many people don't know? Because that's one of the things I like about this show is I watch a lot of these clips. I watch a lot of paranormal stuff, and sometimes you guys bring shit like guys getting attacked by puddles that I've never seen. So we started talking about it, and we decided, well, let's kind of do a spooky, scary time on a very famous story that may or may not be paranormal. You'll see why I think there might be some paranormal stuff going on.
I think there's a bit of a mix, paranormal and some mental health issues combined.
The story itself is bizarre and creepy anyway. But all right, so we want to talk about a true story that really creeps me out. We do have a video clip that will go along with this one here in a few. But I'll ask the question, Matt, do you know about the Cecil Hotel? I know the answer to this.
I absolutely do.
But Kev, you do not.
I do not.
All right, so
it's probably one of the most famous hotels.
Yeah, it's been there a long time. We're going to go to LA for this one. We're going to go out to Los Angeles. This 100-plus-year-old hotel. The thing about this hotel is it has a long history of death surrounding it. It was built in 1924. The owner thought it would become an upscale hotel and build it as such, planning for it to become an upscale hotel. But the problem is the Great Depression hit, and it had to complete other plans for this place. It was really close to Skid Row, so it ended up becoming a housing unit for transients. 2 years in, and we had our first death. A man killed himself in one of the rooms. All right. So then in the 60s, a woman was found sexually assaulted, stabbed to death, killed. We know that serial killer Richard Ramirez was a resident here. If you guys don't know, he is the Night Stalker. So the Night Stalker stayed here for a while. Very, very famous serial killer.
Like while he was on his killing spree.
They believe so, yeah. They believe he probably killed people while he was staying here, yes. Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger was also a resident here for a while. A number of people have just passed away here. But what we want to talk about today is what happened in 2013. Because this story of what happened at the Cecil Hotel in 2013 is creepy. January 31st, 2013, a Canadian student named Eliza Lam, I don't.
It's Eliza.
Was staying at the Cecil while visiting California. Now, she was a blogger and was writing about her visit there. I want to get to a few things. I want to get these things out right away because we just need to get them out. She had a history of dealing with bipolar disease and depression, and she was on medication for both of those. This is important to the story because a lot of people think this explains some of what happened, but it doesn't really explain all of what happened. So Eliza was seen in the lobby of the Cecil Hotel on January 31st, 2013. She was also checking in daily with her parents so that they knew she was okay because she's out there in LA by herself. But then one day they just don't receive a phone call. So they get worried. They have somebody they call. They have somebody go check in on her and they find she's not in her room. Okay. So Eliza Lam seemed to have just totally vanished. No one knows. There are some cameras throughout the hotel. They can kind of track parts, but then she's just gone. Nobody knows what happened to her. So they call the police. Her parents actually make a trip out to California so they can assist with the search for her. But all they had was this piece of surveillance footage from the elevator, which we are going to show here in a minute. So the LAPD ends up releasing that footage from the elevator in hopes that someone might be able to explain what was happening because it's really, really, really strange. I'm going to give you a real quick breakdown of what it was, and then we're going to actually watch that footage. Okay. So the footage shows Lam acting really weird, talking to someone that isn't there, making hand gestures, crouching in a corner, hiding, peeking around the corner, acting really scared, and repeatedly opening and closing the door of the elevator. So let's go ahead. Oh, that is a famous, they say it looks like a ghost. Now we know someone actually jumped from a window and killed themselves and someone on the ground.
Yeah, they landed on somebody.
So this is a very famous photo that they reportedly is a ghost at the window. Whether it's true or not, So let's go ahead and play the clip of the elevator scene from what the footage this was actually released.
Yeah.
So Kev, you've never seen this.
No.
I also want to so she's crouching. Those aren't the buttons. I mean, there's buttons, but the buttons for the floors, those might be them. She hits all the buttons.
She hit a bunch of buttons, and I will point that out because there's a theory that's been the elevator game is something that's been.
Now you see what she's doing, Kev, and then she kind of hides. The weirdest part is
the door never closes.
That's really bizarre too. The elevator door did not close. I mean, in that amount of time, it should have closed.
Right.
But then she starts talking to somebody, and you're going to see, like, animatedly, she starts like creeping out. She'll start doing hand gestures. Hoppers.
Yeah, door still didn't close. She got off, didn't close. It stays open the entire time.
Yeah, this door never. He's right. The door never closes. This door should have closed by now. I mean, most
should have closed, gone to another floor.
Now she's
everything.
Talking to someone, and you'll actually see her make hand gestures as if,
She's like, "Why are you following me? What do you do?" That kind of thing. Like talking with her hands. And she's still there. There you go. Very distraught look on her face. Comes back in, trying to get the elevator closed.
Yeah, and like Matt said,
or at
doors
least
weren't
just
closed.
pushing the
It's
buttons.
all those floors. Like, why is the door not closed? And this is legit footage. This was released by the LAPD.
Yep.
This was the footage the Cecil Hotel gave to them. This was on the news.
We're playing this uncut, like
Yes.
as is. And I know the timestamp is like real blurry down there. That's just
There's a reason they did that. I don't know why.
Do we know which floor that she was on?
I feel like
I'm sure
I
they
feel
can
like
tell
that's
you.
known. Yeah.
I don't have it, but
I could look it up real quick, actually.
like what floor she was staying on, what
Yeah.
room number. It's going to get a lot weirder, though, Kev. I mean, this is weird, but the story's going to get a little weirder.
It says that she was initially assigned a shared room on the hotel's 5th floor, but her roommates complained about what would later be described as odd behavior and was moved to a room of her own after 2
Finally
days.
walks away. And keep in mind, this elevator door still not shut.
Yep.
So what we're saying here is, yes, she had some very clear mental health issues, and we know that. It is also believed that she had not taken the proper, like, had kind of not been taking as much of her meds as she should have been taking.
And then,
can you explain the elevator? That's the first problem. That's problem number one, is explaining the elevator. And we'll play my little clip thing that I saw, and maybe you guys see it, maybe you don't, but we're still at this point now. The elevator door
opens up again.
No one's there. No one comes in. Nothing happens.
And theoretically, those lights.
There's like a weird shadow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is the elevator not moving from floor to floor? She pressed like a bunch of floors.
That could have caused it to glitch out.
Like a delay or something.
Right, but there's been no reports of there being a problem with the elevator in this story.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I'm pretty sure they did a service check of the elevator and nothing.
This is still same clip. And yes, Jay, I will play the little highlighted segment.
We'll do that. Well, I see something move there. I see it very clearly. It starts right by where the arrow goes, and it moves kind of towards the buttons, but it never quite reaches it. So if you see it, there it goes. So it kind of moves. This was me. I pulled this because I'm like, there's something weird going on. It could be digital noise, video glitch. I get that, but it's weird. It moves kind of towards it. So this is the strange part of the story. So we won't get into real in depth. You guys can look it up. But yes, Matt was correct. There is something called the elevator game, which is a thing that people claim that if you get in, you hit the buttons in a certain sequence and then do certain actions while on the elevator will go to sort of a alternate dimension that is, and you can read about this. This is a big thing that's out there, and it's creepy as hell. The story, I'm giving it a real quick, real dumbed down version.
Yeah.
Because it gets real deep, and they'll tell you what button sequence and everything else to hit. Some people think maybe she was trying that. I don't know. But you saw the footage. That is actual legitimate footage that was released from the Cecil Hotel to the LAPD that they played. This was on the news. I first heard about it through a news report when they were talking about how weird it was. So yes, she did have some mental health issues, and yes, she was on medication. We're going to kind of talk about that. So it really added confusion. There's a lot of people saying she had a psychotic break. Some people were saying she was possessed. Some people were saying someone was after her. We don't really know. All of that's really bizarre. But like I said, things are going to get a little weirder. Around this time, the guests at the hotel, right around the time she turns up missing, they start reporting weird occurrences with the water. We have a few actual quotes from CNN, things that were problems that were going on with the water. Here are some actual quotes. The shower was awful. When you turned on the tap, the water was coming black first for about 2 seconds, and then it would start going back to normal. Here's another quote. The tap water tasted horrible. It had very funny, sweet, disgusting taste. Very strange taste. I can barely describe it. Water pressure started acting up. The pressure wasn't coming out as the way it should. Things like that. So the residents at the time chalked it up to bad plumbing. It's an old building, like you said, built 1924. It's a really old building. Mm-hmm. So they're like, it's probably just some bad pipes, whatever. But on February the 19th, over a month after Eliza had come up missing, one of the hotel employees decided to go check out the hotel's water storage tanks on the roof, where they found her body decomposing inside one of the tanks. She was naked, her clothes floating in the water next to her, and some personal belongings were found nearby. There was an autopsy. They labeled her death accidental, but from what I read, they could never quite figure out what she died from. One would think drowning, but I guess there were some issues with that. No recreational drugs of any type were found in her system, but there were traces of her medication suggesting that she had been taking it at least recently. There were some reports that she had kind of stopped taking it, but it looks like she was trying to take them again, so I don't know. There were no marks on her body to indicate foul play, but there are still some really weird facts. Access to the roof would have taken a key. She couldn't have gotten onto the roof without a key to get to the roof. There was also an alarm that should have sounded had that door been open. Also, like we said, the way the elevator behaved was really weird. The door remaining open for way too long, refusing to close. There was also footage that seemed to be missing. And like Matt said, that timestamp is obscured. We don't know why that was. No one seems to understand what happened to the timestamp. It would have been possible for her to reach the roof using a fire escape if she so chose to do that. But after her death, this is weird. After she died, after she was reported missing and they presumed dead, her blog updated one time. Could have been a scheduled posting. We understand that. But here's another weird fact. They never found her phone. They did not in the tank, not in any of her belongings. They couldn't find her phone. And to top it all off, the roof had been searched by the police prior to her body being discovered. Here's the other thing. Matt, let's move on to the next picture. Okay, those are the tanks. And the next picture, that's the opening. So she would have had to get through a locked door that should have had an alarm, climbed up that, taken the top off, taken her clothes off, squeezed through that. Yeah.
Now she was with a group of folks.
No.
It was a shared. She was in a shared room.
Shared room.
Yeah.
And they complained. They complained to the hotel and said this girl's acting real weird, and they had her moved to her own room.
Okay.
So
and then she went missing after all.
So let's talk real quick theories here, our personal ones. I said the paranormal stuff. There's weird stuff here, and the Cecil has a history of weird occurrences and deaths and things like that.
And I'm going to go back through some of the photos.
Yeah, that's cool.
To get to one in particular that you did not mention. In this photo, you got Richard Ramirez and Elizabeth Smart.
Correct.
Kevin, do you know who
Dahlia?
Yep. She also supposedly stayed at the Cecil Hotel shortly before she was found in the state that she was found in, which is insane, by the way. So
I have a weird, and I don't, by the way, in no point do we want to make light of any of this mental health stuff.
Either way, this entire story is tragic.
Yeah.
But what if the paranormal, we obviously believe in it to a certain degree. What if a girl comes to this hotel that has some kind of weird paranormal stuff and she has some mental health issues? And what if that all plays into it a lot? What if it makes people a little more susceptible? I have a feeling. Now that's one theory I have, but I have a feeling that she was having a bit of a psychotic break. And I wonder then if there wasn't a person that somehow took advantage of that situation. Now, they didn't find anything that implied assault or anything, but that's not necessarily. It could have been robbery gone. Like I said, they
could have been just somebody intimidating her.
Could be.
Like no contact, but just being a very intimidating, imposing person down that hallway.
Come back to the weird elevator stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing that happened in that elevator makes sense. Nothing played out the way it should. It could be a perfect storm, right? Somebody having a psychotic break and an elevator malfunction all at the same time. It is possible. Not probable. And like I said, I'm pretty sure they had the elevator looked at and didn't find anything. And there were no other reports of the elevator having issues. Nobody was saying, hey, the elevator's acting up. None of that. The thing that weirds me out the most is people were drinking that water for a month.
Yep.
Mm.
A sweet and disgusting taste.
Which is weird, though, because there should be a filtration system through there.
Correct.
Not good enough.
No.
Now, something that I want to bring up is this is a fairly well documented case, which is why I'm kind of surprised that Kevin hadn't heard of this. And we like to give credit where credit's due on things. And if you want to learn more about this exact case, like in depth, they go very much in depth, even more theories. They interview people that were staying at the hotel. They interview the guy that went up on the roof and found her. But the documentary, you can find it on Netflix. It's called Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. And it kind of covers the history of the hotel all the way up through this particular thing. And one of the photos that we have in the slideshow here shows that it's no longer called the Cecil Hotel. It's called the Stay on Main. I think this photo right here is kind of like a more current present day one, but it's still got the Cecil Hotel branding on it. And I think at this point, it's completely closed down. Like it's just an abandoned building.
So I saw some pictures and was wondering about that. 'Cause I actually watched, I feel like I watched this documentary.
Yeah. They were going to renovate it and like revitalize it, turn it back into a hotel. But it seems like the history behind it is so dark that it's just going to become a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And we may play other clips in the future regarding this hotel because there's a lot around
numerous ghost hunting groups that have gone in here. Famous ones, I think, like Ghost Adventures and all that shit. I think have done stuff.
Go check out the documentary because I mean, honestly, at the very least, this is just a tragic story of somebody who lost their life in a really bizarre way.
It's an exceptionally tragic story.
Yeah, because I mean, she had, I mean, by all accounts, she had her issues, but she also had a really bright future ahead of her, and was just, just a genuine, decent person. And she just needed a cheap place to stay, and it ended up being the last place she stayed.
And I think that's one of the things people want to know. Like, was this just a unfortunate mental break, or did something actually happen to her?
Yeah.
Because, we all want to know that.
Here's what we know. What do you think?
Oh, for the record, I think this place is haunted as shit.
Oh
yeah.
I mean, there's too much dark history wrong.
Multiple serial killers staying there.
I'm not saying that's
right.
But what if that's? I know we will not go into this. We will not go into this. But what if certain places? Because we don't like getting too far out there. There's something you'll notice, and I'm not going to go off on a tangent. But we have not yet one time talked about skinwalkers because Matt and I have our opinions on skinwalkers. That being said, what if places do have a certain energy and draw certain people to them? We don't know.
I totally believe that.
So, maybe it draws people to it. And that's what I was saying. People with mental health issues, maybe they're a little more susceptible. We don't know. Anyway, guys, definitely check out the documentary. It is really good. It's been a while since I watched it, but I have seen that documentary. Kev, what do you think of the Cecil Hotel story and the Eliza Lam story?
Creepy as hell, and also, like Matt said, very, very tragic.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. And that happens a lot in these stories where there's a lot of, and that's, tragedy befalls a lot of paranormal stuff. It just sort of, the energy is what they talk about. So, guys, thank you. We are always happy to see the feedback on the clips we put up, and we are ecstatic to watch the numbers growing. It's been amazing. For the short time we've been doing this, we see people subscribing, and it's been great. And thank you guys so much. We tried to say thank you out there on the socials as well, but we want to make sure we thank you guys who are watching the show.
Yeah.
If you don't know, of course, we have a Facebook group. So if you want to go over there, I know we've gotten a few new people to join this week. Thank you for that. Come over there. We share
everyone.
We share all kinds of stuff. We share clips, but we also talk about like conventions and stuff coming up, or just anything that really sounds kind of fun. So go over, check us out on Facebook join the group. That's a lot of fun. Like I said, we are on TikTok too, so you might want to check us out on YouTube. Instagram, we are on Instagram. I think Matt plays the reels. I think they're called reels there. And I don't know what else he does there because I'm horrible about it. We are on Bluesky, which is a lot of fun. We've been getting a lot of interaction there and more people joining that every day. So come on over to Bluesky, find us there. And that's our YouTube. We're Kinda Creepy Show. Please go over and subscribe if you have not done so. In fact, don't just subscribe. What we really need you to do is we need you to like the videos,
share it with your friends.
Yes,
Spread
the word.
We need you gotta like them and comment on them and share, and then subscribe.
Yeah,
we want to share all this paranormal goodness with everybody around the world. Actually, it just helps out a lot.
Hey Jay, what happens if anybody wants to get a hold of us and maybe submit a video?
That's a good question, Matt.
Yes, they could email us. Probably be the best. We have an email. It is that KindaCreepyShow@gmail.com. You can tell us your paranormal experiences, your paranormal stories. If you have a clip, if you actually want to submit a clip, or you just want to go check out this clip and tell us the name of it, we'll go look it up. Yeah. We have had a couple of viewer suggestions, and we try to find them, and we've actually played a couple of those. So in our daily,
I've even had some submitted by some of my own family members that they filmed in their own home.
We love that stuff. So
that's going to be coming up on a future episode. I've just got to get the video.
I love that stuff. I can't wait for that. I love to see because then we have firsthand accounts. You know?
Yeah, and just a little teaser for that one. This was filmed in probably the most unconventional way possible. It was filmed on a 3D printer's time-lapse camera.
You told me a little bit about I'm kind of curious. Very curious. If you guys have any information about any of the stuff we have played, please let us know. We want to find out more. We will come back next week with another episode and more clips. And we got some really fun stuff to talk about. We got some upcoming shows, and we did a cryptid episode, but we've got other kind of specialized episodes in the works. So please slap that subscribe button before we leave. We thank all of you guys. And, until next time, guys, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, there's one thing you got to do.
Keep it creepy.
This is kind of creepy. Goosebumps rising up my spine.